Here's a cute one for you folks. Love this, especially as a business person. Like everybody else, I have to rely upon, Schwab and Fidelity and all these other companies that, manage portfolios for me and us and the like, that they're making the right decisions for me. I don't have inside information. I would love some inside information about what companies are going to go public. What information is going to come out that's going to change the trajectory of a company. Here's the crop report for the oranges, okay? And it's gonna the orange season's gonna be crazy, or it's gonna fall apart, and I should bet against or bet for this company. I wish I had that inside information. But you know who does get that inside information? Members of Congress. Ain't that great? What a job. Pull it up. Members of Congress outperformed the S&P 500, sometimes by huge amounts. Now, why are they working in Congress then? Right? Then they should be working for these big companies and trying to help people like you and me improve our portfolios by huge amounts. So here begs the next question. If you're so good at making money for yourself, how is it, if you have this innate knowledge of markets and finance, you can't even put together a budget that is good for the country, and we have to have government shutdowns and rising deficits? Amazing. If you're such great business people, obviously, pull up the next one. Let me read it and get this aggravation going. It was actually good. This came out of Fortune magazine, as a matter of fact. Here we go, and it starts out like almost magnificently. Congress only managed to pass 27 bills in 2023, but many of its members had a much more productive year in the stock market, according to a new report. It highlights their trading performance, which was helped by the fact that those in Congress are exempt from certain insider trading rules. Some of these members saw the value of their portfolio grow by well over 50%. Did your portfolio, your retirement savings, grow by 50%? I don't think it did. I bet it dropped. And how about the money that you paid out this year to pay for energy and food and interest rates and car loans and everything else? I'm sure that raised by 10, 15, 20%. How about your insurance? I know my insurance went up some 17%, 30% over the last 2 years. I wish I had that 50% growth in my market accounts to offset some of that cost of living. No, I guess I don't have the insider trading knowledge like these clowns. Thanks in part to some well-timed, maybe even suspiciously well-timed trades, a third of the 100 members of Congress reported financial these transactions this year beat the S&P 500, which is up 24% in 2023, according to Unusual Whales, a stock and options news service. Broken out by party, Republicans earned 18% returns on their trades, while the Democrats earned 33%, according to the report. Just so interesting. The Democrats, who love to wealth distribute, that many of the people on their side are anti-capitalism. They think that they should be teaching these socialist, communist thoughts and ideas. But I'll tell you, they really do find capitalism to be a core passion of theirs, it would seem, based upon the fact that they blew away the Republicans in return on their portfolio investments, and that return. What says difference is explained by Republicans having large parts of their portfolio in financials, oil, commodities, all of which had rough years. Really. Okay, bring up the next one. At times, elected officials traded in sectors that directly relate to their work in Congress. Members of the House Oversight and Accountability Committee and House Armed Services Committee purchased healthcare and financial services stocks in more than 1,000 transactions that directly related to their committee's work. Top performing traders, members of Congress, include notable names such as Nancy Pelosi, whose portfolio is up 65% on the year. Can't get her state's budget under control. California, worst in the entire union. Total budget deficit by some $68 billion. But for herself, she's pretty good. Portfolio up 65%. Dan Crenshaw from Texas was up 38%. Collins from Maine up 55%. Brian Higgins, one of our guys here in New York, notched the highest returns at 238%. Not bad from a guy who's probably promoting socialism and communism and wealth redistribution. Pretty good for his 238%. I want to know how much of that 238% he's going to distribute back to everybody else in New York, since he's obviously a big proponent of socialism and communism and wealth redistribution, but quite the capitalist for himself. Let me see the next one. All right, here you go. What you're showing me, I see. Congress versus the S&P in 2020. So look at this chart. Look at some of these names. Brian Higgins at the top at 238%. You got a few Republicans under there, Mark Green and Gravers and, so forth and so on. There you got, still near the top, right? There you got Richard Blumenthal and Nancy Pelosi. Again, all these folks from these blue states, again, all underwater in budget deficits and high cost of living, low quality of life. But they themselves seem to be doing pretty good for themselves. Good for them. And, of course, there you go. You got, notwithstanding, some Republicans in there as well. So, again, I call it the way I see it. They're obviously trading, stocks, commodities, bonds, these other things, whatever, equities, in competition to maybe committees that they're on, and they're getting all this insider knowledge. This is just a bad look. If depending on whoever you are, whatever side of the aisle, it's just a bad look altogether. If I'm running things, I'll tell you this much: you're getting a government pension, you're getting probably a $200,000 a year salary. You should have no ability to trade stock while you're in Congress or any place in government, because you're already going to be taken care of big time. You're going to have a pension, and you're going to have medical benefits that are going to trump the entirety of anybody in society once you retire. So you shouldn't be able to then triple down by having also this big, huge stock and equities win on top of it all. It's just total nonsense, aggravation. You want to understand why people don't have trust in the government. The right, the left, it's all the same nonsense. I have my own political leanings. I don't make any bones about where I tend to go, just based on my own tone. You can hear it. But this is the nonsense that causes a disruption in faith in government, and what challenges in our whole entirety of society ethics and truth. So we have a real problem with morality and a relationship with the truth. And if we don't start getting things in order, this is how you lose democracy.